inside the daily lives of inmates and guards. Every morning, before the sun even rises, a steel door slams somewhere in America. Behind that sound are two kinds of people: those paid to keep others in, and those who would give anything to get out. Inside these walls, there are rules, written and unwritten. For guards, it's about order. For inmates, it's about survival. But what happens when both sides begin to blur? When a guard crosses a line or an inmate shows more discipline than the man in uniform? Welcome to a place where every glance, every favor, every silence has a price. This is inside the daily lives of inmates and guards. A world where control is everything, and nobody ever really has it. Before we dive deeper into this world, a world where concrete walls hold secrets no one dares to speak, take a second to support the channel. Hit like if stories like this make you question what really happens behind those locked gates. And subscribe so you never miss the truth that others are too afraid to tell. Now let's step inside. The world behind bars. At dawn, the prison wakes up. A low buzz hums through the tier. Lights flicker. Doors rattle. Guards call roll. It's the start of another day in a place that never truly sleeps. For the guards, the routine begins long before the inmates rise. Metal detectors, pat-downs, briefing rooms. They check their belts, their radios, their resolve. Every guard knows. Walking through that gate means stepping into a different world. One ruled by tension and routine. For inmates, mornings come with a different kind of ritual. A tap on the door, count time. They stand by the bunk, eyes hollow from another restless night. The smell of disinfectant lingers in the air. Breakfast trays roll down the corridor. Powdered eggs, instant coffee, a slice of bread that crumbles at the touch. Some eat, some trade, some just stare at the wall, counting down the minutes until they can move again. And through it all, the guards watch. Not just for trouble, but for patterns, for signs of a bad day brewing. Because here, one wrong look can start a riot. On paper, it's control. In reality, it's a fragile peace, held together by fear, respect, and the sound of closing doors. The count, order and chaos. In every prison, count time is sacred. It's not just a rule. It's the heartbeat of the entire system. At 7 a.m. sharp, every inmate must be seen, every head accounted for. Because in a place built on control, even one missing name means chaos. For the guards, it's muscle memory. Clipboard in hand, eyes scanning faces through bars. But beneath that routine lies a silent power struggle. Each inmate stares a test. Do you see me as a number or a man? Some guards look away. Others hold their gaze. The best ones know it's not about intimidation. It's about consistency. You miss a count once, and the entire block feels it. It's not about the paperwork. It's about the balance of fear. Rookie guards learn fast. You can't show nerves. You can't show sympathy. Because the moment an inmate sees weakness, someone somewhere will test it. Inside one of the cells, an inmate named Marcus Tonehall, 38 years old, watches the guards pass by. He's been locked up for 15 years. Robbery, assault, attempted escape. To the system, he's a repeat offender. To the younger inmates, he's something else entirely. A teacher, a strategist, a survivor. He nods to his cellmate, a quiet 22-year-old doing his first year inside. Watch their faces. Tone says quietly, "They'll tell you what kind of day it's going to be." Tone smirks. See? Somebody's mad. Somebody's scared. Somebody's lying. That's all you need to know. For the inmates, the guards are not just enforcers. They're signals, mood indicators for the entire prison ecosystem. A smile means calm. A clenched jaw means lockdown. And in here, one mood swing can change everything. By 7:40 a.m., the prison exhales. Count is cleared. No one missing. No one dead. For now, order holds. But just like that, the day begins again. A fragile truce between uniforms and orange jumpsuits. The shift begins. Every guard starts their shift the same way. Signing in, checking radios, strapping on belts heavy with keys and cuffs. But what most people don't see is what those keys really mean. Each one opens something. A door, a life, a secret. Veteran guard Officer Raymond Ellis has been here 22 years. He's seen riots, suicides, escape attempts, and somehow he's still here. He tells the rookies, "Don't ever think you run this place. The moment you do, they'll prove you wrong." He nods to a few inmates by name. Not friendly, not cold, professional, the thin line that keeps peace. "Morning, officer." One inmate calls out, "Morning." Ellis replies, without stopping. Respect in prison isn't given, it's traded. And for guard like Ellis, that trade is an art form. Too strict and they'll rebel. Too soft and they'll consume you. Every exchange is a negotiation of power, subtle, dangerous, necessary. Down the tier, another guard, Officer Vega, younger, tense, walks with his hand on his baton. He's new and it shows. The inmates can smell fear the way sharks smell blood. Someone whistles. Someone mutters. He grips his baton tighter. The veterans don't tell you this part, that the job doesn't end when the shift does. You take the noise home with you. The smell of the tears sticks to your clothes. The faces, they stay in your mind long after the lights go out. Because in this place, there's no such thing as leaving work behind. Inside the Cellblock, survival psychology. Once the morning count clears, the Cellblock comes alive, a world within a world. To outsiders, it looks like chaos, men pacing, yelling, trading, laughing at nothing. But to those who live here, it's a finely tuned ecosystem, governed by its own invisible laws. Inmates call it the program. Everything that happens inside, from who uses a phone first, to who sweeps the floor, follows an unspoken code. Break it, and you pay in blood, silence, or isolation. In this world, respect is currency. Strength keeps you safe, but intelligence keeps you alive. And nobody understands that balance better than Tone Hall, the same inmate who taught the rookie earlier. Tone runs a tier without ever raising his voice. He doesn't need to. Every favor he grants, every warning he gives, is a line in an invisible contract. The guards know it. The inmates know it. "Mr. Hall, they're saying cell 112 is gunning for your guy." Tone doesn't look up. He keeps writing. "Then they better aim straight," he says quietly. Every cell block has its chessboard. Kings, pawns, enforcers, and observers. And Tone? He's the kind of man who can play both sides at once. The guards pretend not to notice these dynamics. But they do. They just don't talk about it. Because acknowledging it means admitting the truth, that the real control inside these walls is shared, not owned. Survival for the guards means understanding how to coexist with danger without letting it consume you. Survival for the inmates means adapting to a system designed to break you without letting it erase who you are. Every action, every silence, every glance is a message, because in here, words can get you killed. The break room, behind the badge. For the guards, there's one place that feels almost normal, the break room. But even here, the walls talk. Coffee cups clink, vending machines hum, and conversations dance carefully around the truth. "How's your block?" "Quiet today." They all say the same things, but they mean something else. "Rough morning." Ellis asks, not looking up. Vega shrugs. "Just tired." Ellis folds a paper. "You'll get used to it, or you won't." For every rookie, there's a moment, a shift when the job stops being a job and start becoming who you are. The uniform doesn't come off when you clock out. It follows you home, into your dreams, your marriage, your silence. "See you on the tier," he says. Ellis nods. "Keep your eyes open." What most people don't realize is that guards and inmates often share the same burden, isolation. One is trapped by duty, the other by law, but both live under the same hum of lights, the same sense that the outside world has forgotten them. The yard, temporary freedom. When the yard opens, it's like a pulse of energy, a taste of air, sky, and space. For the inmates, it's freedom, but only in theory. Every movement, every step, is watched, every friendship, mapped and logged. Some lift weights, some play basketball, some just walk in circles, chasing thoughts they can't escape. For Tone Hall, this is his office. He moves between groups quietly, checking, observing, talking in coded gestures. It's diplomacy on concrete. The yard is where reputations live and die. It's where debts are settled and rumors are born. A guard's whistle, a single glance, can be the difference between peace and chaos. Up in the tower, Officer Ellis watches through binoculars. He knows the patterns. Who's talking too long? Who's circling too wide? Down below, Officer Vega walks the fence line, learning how to see what others miss. To the untrained eye, it looks like men wasting time. To those who know better, it's the most dangerous hour of the day. Because when humans get even a sliver of freedom, the will to reclaim all of it never fully dies. The inmate economy, power, trade, and survival. In every prison, there's an economy, invisible, illegal, and unstoppable. No cash, no credit cards, just need, trust, and leverage. Cigarettes, phone minutes, extra food, clean sheets, painkillers, soap, tattoo ink, information. Everything has a price. But the real currency is power. And power moves through hands that never touch. Inside this underground world, there are merchants, brokers, and enforcers. Roles no different from Wall Street, just written in sweat and fear instead of contracts. Narrator. At the top of this chain in Cellblock stands Tone Hall. He never carries contraband himself. That's rookie behavior. Instead, he controls flow. Who eats better, who gets pain meds, who gets cigarettes when the stash runs dry. 2 packs of new guy. Tone says, tell him it's a loan. Slick nods. And if he don't pay? Tone smiles faintly. Then he'll learn what interest means in here. Every prison has a shadow market. But what makes it thrive isn't greed, it's deprivation. When you take away everything from a man, he learns to create value from nothing. And sometimes, the guards are part of that trade. Don't look so shocked, he whispers. They'll do worse for less. Narrator. It's an open secret. A guard brings in a cell phone, gets a few hundred. A pill bottle, double that. A smuggled letter to a girlfriend, priceless. Every item becomes a lifeline. And for a few, temptation becomes a job, hazard too strong to resist. When both sides start playing the same game, the lines between control and corruption disappear. The system keeps moving because both sides need it to. The mental game. Prison is a mind war. Most people think prison is about bars, walls, and chains. But the real prison is mental. Isolation, monotony, and time. They're weapons that can break anyone given long enough. Days blend into weeks, weeks into years. And the walls start to whisper. Tone Hall sits on his bunk, staring at a blank wall, lips moving silently. He's memorizing words, fragments of old poems, court transcripts, letters he'll never send. It's how he fights back. Across the tier, another inmate, younger, restless, pounds on his door. He's on lockdown 5 days straight. His screams echo through concrete until his voice gives out. Psychologists call it learned helplessness. Guards call it routine. But for the men living it, it's a slow-motion collapse of identity. Some cope through routine, workouts, journaling, prayer. Others escape through stories, telling themselves that they're still human, still more than a number stitched on their clothes. And it's not just the inmates who crack. Guards suffer too. Nightmares, anxiety, emotional detachment. Studies show correctional officers have one of the highest PTSD rates in law enforcement. Every threat, every scream, every suicide attempt becomes another ghost they carry home. Inside these walls, everyone wears a uniform, some orange, some blue, but they all carry the same weight, the cost of survival. The prisoner's code, honor in hell. To survive in prison, you don't just follow the rules, you follow the code. It's not written anywhere, but everyone knows it. No snitching. No stealing from your own. Handle your business quietly. And above all, never show weakness. For many, this code becomes identity. It's a shield against humiliation, a way to turn punishment into pride. Tone once said, "The system took my body. The code kept my soul." And that's how most men here survive. Not by bending the rules, but by rewriting them to mean something. But the same code that keeps peace also fuels violence. Because when pride becomes survival, every insult becomes war. Guards know this too. They walk a tightrope, enforcing discipline without igniting the spark. A wrong word, a laugh at the wrong time, can turn into a riot. Honor, fear, respect, revenge. In prison, they're all the same language, just spoken through different scars. The violent cycle, when control fails. Every prison lives in cycles. Calm, tension, explosion, repeat. One day it's quiet. The next it's chaos. And no one ever knows what sparks it. It could be a lost piece of mail, a rumor, a missing cigarette, or just one man having a bad day. Violence in prison doesn't erupt. It ignites. It starts with eyes, then words, then movement. And by the time the sirens wail, it's already too late. Hands down. Get back. Back now. Inmates hit the ground. Others back away. Fists still clenched. Trays scatter across the floor like shrapnel. The smell of metal, blood, and sweat mixes in the air. To the untrained eye, it's a riot. To the veterans, it's a dance, one they've done too many times. It's over in 90 seconds. But in prison time, 90 seconds feels like a lifetime. Every fight becomes a lesson, written in bruises and reports. The inmates learn where the limits lie. The guards learn how close control always is to collapse. After the dust settles, there's no celebration, just paperwork, silence, and the long walk back to the tier. He's seen worse, but he knows it only takes one spark to light another fire. And tomorrow, the cycle will begin again. The consequences, lockdown. After every act of violence comes the same response, lockdown. No yard, no visits, no phones, just walls, light, and time. For the guards, lockdown is control. For the inmates, it's punishment collective and crushing. Lockdown is where patience breaks, where isolation eats through resolve, 1 hour at a time. Tone Hall sits on his bunk, back straight, eyes closed. He's seen dozens of lockdowns before. But even he feels the air tightening, the tension creeping in through the silence. Not safe. They think you talked. Tone stares at it for a long moment, then folds it up, hides it under his mattress, and lays back down. In here, rumors are bullets. And lockdown is a perfect breeding ground for both. He asks Ellis, "You think they'll calm down?" Ellis shakes his head. No one ever does in the dark. Lockdown doesn't just confine bodies. It amplifies minds. And when the doors open again, the storm that's been brewing in silence doesn't go away. The informant. Every prison has one. The man who trades information for protection. To the administration, he's a tool. To the inmates, he's a target. "I heard they're planning something, sir. Tomorrow. Laundry run." Vega stiffens. He's not sure if it's truth or bait. But in this place, even a lie can save a life, or end one. He reports it to Ellis. Ellis listens and asks, "You trust the source?" Vega hesitates. He's scared enough to be telling the truth. Information is power, but power comes at a price. That night, word spreads fast. By morning, Deshawn's cell door is covered in chalk marks, silent warnings from the others. Inside these walls, truth is never free. It's traded, manipulated, weaponized. And once your name's in the wrong mouth, it doesn't matter if you were right. The guards write reports. The inmates whisper. The system resets, like a machine built to keep spinning on pain. Because deep down, he knows he just handed a man his death sentence. The walls that never end. By the end of the day, the gates close again. The guards clock out, the inmates lock in, and for a few hours, the noise dies down. But even in the silence, the prison never truly sleeps. Somewhere, a man lies awake, counting ceiling cracks instead of stars. Somewhere else, a guard stares at the ceiling of home, hearing echoes that never fade. People think prison is about punishment, but the truth is it's about endurance. Every second, every sound, every breath is a test of who can last longer, the system or the soul. For the inmates, tomorrow will be the same. Breakfast trays, counts, walls, and rules. For the guards, tomorrow means another 12 hours in a world that runs on fear and silence. Two sides of the same coin, both trapped by the same walls. There's a saying inside, Don't leave this place the same way you came in. And it's true, no one does. Not the men in orange. Not the ones holding the keys. Because behind every cell door, there's a story no report will ever tell. A truth that never makes it past the walls. And until the last light goes out, this cycle of control, fear, and survival will keep turning. Inside the daily lives of inmates and guards, there are no heroes, only survivors. Inside these walls, life never really stops. It just repeats. For the guards, it's another shift. For the inmates, another day in survival mode. Different uniforms. Same cage. If you made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story. Because behind every locked door, there's a truth the world rarely sees.